all they did for 1 month was just dunk.
I mean, he gets up.
That's crazy. We're almost peaking with the band. We're not even talking.
We're going to have to figure that out.
Yeah. So, like, I took a sports broadcasting class. You know, the way we're going to do it is we're going to increase the noise gate.
So we just got to make sure when
you just
got
to speak at a consistent level.
Yeah.
So, talk.
So, you know, the band's going to be really loud today, and it's going to really affect how we're able to do our broadcast.
Yeah, good.
Okay, so I just got to stay up there.
Yeah, so now it goes down with the noise gate. Yep. And usually, well, being too aggressive with a noise gate like that often doesn't sound good, but you kind of have to.
Yeah.
Like, I ended up taking the noise gate off of the ambient mic because it just kind of sounded weird.
Yeah. I wonder what the ESPN broadcast did, because they were...
Yeah, I would have loved to pick their audio engineer's ears about that. Once again, live from Moore Gymnasium on the campus of Bethune-Cookman University in beautiful downtown Daytona Beach, Florida. It's time for the second matchup of our doubleheader featuring the men's teams from Bethune-Cookman University and Prairie View A&M. Hello and a very warm welcome. Happy to have your company. My name is Michael Torello. Henson White once again joins me. Henson, we had a close game for the most part in the women's game between two teams close in the standings. Again, we've got two teams right close in the middle of the standings. What's going to happen to this one?
You know, the women had a great performance, especially to close out in that fourth quarter to win that game by 13. And now the Wildcats are going to come in against this Prairie View men's team, and they're going to look to try to, you know, have a great follow-up that performance. Prairie View in conference play has not had a great offensive or defensive start, allowing the best field goal percentage in the SWAC coming into tonight, and having the third lowest average offensively. They struggle to get rebounds, and that's not the fault at all of Brian Miles, who leads the team in points and rebounds, respectively. Not points, rather. That's Charles Smith.
Field goal percentage, yeah.
Field goal percentage, rather. But Kevin McGaskey is their leading assister. But they're just gonna have to work to get a lot of rebounds and work to get into that paint. But I'll talk more about that in the keys to the game.
Let's do the Southeast Toyota Dealers keys to the game. Henson, you're up.
So rebounding and beating Brian Miles is going to be the main thing for BCU. Outside of Brian Miles, no one on this team, on this Prairie View team, averages more than 5 rebounds a game. You know, it goes straight down to 4.5 with Javante Hopkins, who is only 6 foot, by the way. So they're going to look to try to keep the ball, keep those possessions going, getting a lot of offensive rebounds, and not allow second chance opportunities by getting a lot of defensive rebounds. And if you beat Brian Miles, he's also one of their leading scorers. So all of a sudden, you're going to have them struggling to get points and get the ball back. And for the Wildcats, for the Panthers, there's so many cats in this SWAC. But protecting the pin and close down on easy looks, if you're allowing the highest field goal percentage in the SWAC, there's got to be something you're doing defensively that you got to shift. And obviously, if you're allowing all these rebounds, you're going to allow a lot of good looks and a lot of second chance opportunities and fast break and transition offense. So look for them to try to protect the paint, try to force the Wildcats on the perimeter. Not that they're bad there, but, you know, it'll be a harder looks for the Wildcats to take advantage of.
Those are your Southeast Toyota dealers' keys to the game. Visit your local Toyota dealers or explore Toyota.com today and take advantage of the deals on our full line of vehicles. Toyota. Let's go places. Here's the starting five. For Prairie View A&M, it's Kevin McGaskey, Charles Lane Jr. Brian Miles also starts with Charles Smith IV. And Javante Hopkins in the starting five. And for Bethune-Cookman, it's the same starting five that you're pretty much used to for this team. Jacoby Hetty, Zion Harmon, and Deshaun Dyson are your three-headed monster scoring the ball at the guard position. Reggie Ward is your four, and then James Henderson gets the start over Elijah Hulsey at the five. Hulsey working his way back from a little bit of an ankle injury last weekend. He will play, but just in limited minutes.
Yeah. We've seen that last time they were in Moore Gym as well. Jose's been fighting this injury for a little minute. Hopefully he'll be at 100% come tournament time.
And the paint has been a struggle for the men's team, complete opposite of the women's team where the paint is their strength. You've had James Henderson, Elijah Hulsey, DJ Carter Hollinger, even Yusuf Tamara at times battling for that 4 and 5 position on the floor, but none of them have really stuck as the Wildcats' go-to guy.
Yeah. It's been a little bit of a struggle for the Wildcats with their big men. And, you know, we see them rotate often. Tamara's gotten a lot of minutes. DJ has gotten a lot of minutes. Hulsey when he's healthy. Henderson Jr. as well. Reggie Ward. So it's no one, as you said, no one's really stuck. There isn't like a definitive, I'd say, starting five. It just depends on the team, which is fine, but obviously you want some guy or, you know, two guys where you're like, this is our guy, that's our five, that's our four.
Yeah. Wildcats in the pink warm-up tops and bench tops today. It is the Play for K Day, raising money for cancer awareness. And continuing the vision of former NC State head coach Kay Yao. Wildcats will be in the all-white, trimmed in maroon and gold. Panthers in the road black with yellow stripes on the waist and down the pants. It'll be Brian Miles, the junior out of Shreveport, Louisiana, to jump it up with James Henderson Jr. Wildcats will go to the right in the first half. Panthers will go to the left. PA announcer Larry Steele getting the crowd fired up here at Moore Gymnasium. Only 3 home games left for the season for men's basketball after this one.
And the Wildcats will look to make them matter as we close this amazing basketball season.
Harmon into the front court as the Wildcats win the tip. Henderson to a wide open Jacoby Hetty for a two-handed hammer.
Immediately out of the gates, Hetty gets a dunk.
And immediately a timing error. All too familiar with us here.
Yep. Even when we were on national TV, we had timing errors. So
the Wildcats a hot start and a first dunk for Jacoby Hetty. Now Hetty harasses Smith. Mid-ranger won't go. Ward with a rebound, excuse me. Harmon quickly into the front court. He dances left, he goes baseline. He puts puts it up and under with a circus shot.
What a move. He I don't even know the technical term for that dribble move he just pulled out. He kind of hesitated.
Wizardry.
Blows by, I guess we'll call it.
Harmon almost gets the steal, and he does get the steal. He bounced it off of McGaskey, and the Wildcats will have a chance to go up by 3 scores early on.
Yeah, very quick out the gate. Same thing with the similar things to the women's game where there are a lot of turnovers. The Wildcats look to force a lot of turnovers defensively to start it out. And they look to do the same on the men's side. At first, I thought Harmon was going to be yelling at the ref, being in his way possibly for that steal.
Henderson baseline, Hetty again. He doesn't jam it this time, he just takes the layup. And that's a set play we haven't seen run by this team so far this year.
Yeah.
That little baseline under. 6-0 Bethune-Cookman, a inverse of that start against Alcorn with their last home game where the Braves got off to the quick start. Falling away and missing off the front iron is Charles Lane.
Tough shot. I don't think that's, the look you're looking at if you're a coach, but if it goes in, of course.
Dyson rifles it to Henderson, who barely corrals it. 18 to shoot. Backdoor pass again. Harmon, all signs of trouble underneath, and it's a travel on an up and down. So they've been going to that backcourt or backdoor cut 3 times. Works the first 2 times. It's not the third.
Third time not being the charm there.
Panthers to the baseline now. Up and under, blocked by Henderson. This is Javante Hopkins, the second leading scorer on the team, misses on the 3. Downhill to the basket, rejected and out of bounds. That was Deshaun Dyson headed to the hole, and Brian Miles says absolutely not.
A very emphatic block on Deshaun Dyson there.
Dyson gets it again on the baseline. Denies the screen from Henderson, now double teamed, and he lost the ball. Neither team really settled down, but if you've listened to any of the interviews that Coach Theus has done, they don't really want to settle down. They want to go fast, and they are up there in the top percentage of teams in the country in terms of pace of play.
Never a boring game in Moore Gymnasium.
6-0 Wildcats early on. Hopkins dancing, kicking to Miles for 3, bang. Brian Miles shoots 25% from beyond the arc. That's only his 4th 3 of the season.
He only shot 12 before that one, total.
That's actually taken it a long 2, not a 3.
Foot must have been on the line.
Dyson pick and roll with Henderson. Defender falls down. Henderson punishes with a 2-hand jam.
And James Henderson Jr. is not the tallest center you'll ever see.
Wide open in transition, going to the hole, missing the layup. Hopkins, offensive rebound, Miles shovels it back underneath, and a bucket and 1.
And I want to shout out James Henderson Jr.'s defense on that possession, closing down that open layup, doing a good job of not fouling anybody there. Just doesn't get a lucky bounce off the rim, ends up being a rebound for Prairie View and rotated out.
Javante Hobson's a graduate student from Houston, Texas, transferred in from Tarleton State, where he spent his first 4 seasons. Averaged 4.5 points, 1.4 rebounds, and 1 assist. Averaged 6.7 points as a freshman, was named to the Lone Star Conference All-Freshman team, and was part of Tarleton State's transition from Division II to the Division I level in the Southland Conference. Wildcats up 8-4. Heading back to Dyson. Panthers close down, backdoor pass, Ward underneath, and the layup is good. The Wildcats have pounded the ball underneath. All 10 points in the paint for the Wildcats early on.
Very similar to the women's team, just go and, get your easy looks, go in the paint, make some tough shots, make some layups.
Nice ball fake. Miles on the baseline, zips it across. Smith for 3, front iron no good. Miles with the board, but it goes out of bounds to a Wildcat ball. And that's the first media timeout with the Wildcats up 10-4. conference play continues for VCU basketball Monday, February 10th. For a SWAC conference doubleheader. Come out and catch all the VCU hoops action as we host Texas Southern for a pair of critical crack contest. The women set to tip things off at 5:30 p.m. with the men following at 7:30. Admission is free with student ID. Can't make it some more. You can catch all the action live on youtube.com/CatEye Network. And Henson, the pep band is in the building.
Yeah, I mean, I doubt that you can't hear them on the broadcast. It gets really loud here in Moore Gymnasium. It was loud here when ESPN was in the building. It's every time the pep band's in here, you can barely hear yourself think, and that usually helps the home team here for the Wildcats.
Yeah, so fast start for the Wildcats offensively, Henson, as we fight to hear each other. They've done it by getting the ball into the paint and using, maybe not their bigs on the interior, but they've used Henderson as kind of the setup man.
Yeah, they're taking advantage of what they're being given. You know, similar to how the women's team played, as I said earlier, just driving hard into the paint, taking advantage of, you know, those driving kicks, so to speak. A lot of backdoor cuts we've seen, a lot of post moves, off-ball movement from Hetty and Harmon and Reggie Ward to get open looks and finishing them really well at the basket. And that's why they're up 10-4 without shooting a three or taking a free throw.
Yeah, well, and not shooting a three yet, they haven't even taken one, is rare for this team when you've got Zion Harmon and Deshaun Dyson, who both love to shoot the three ball.
Yeah, and don't forget Jacoby Hetty, who also loves to shoot threes throughout, whenever he can. So it's very interesting to see this team, kind of go away from that and work the ball more in the paint. But they could also be looking to force, Prairie View to respect that a lot more, to give them more threes down the stretch.
Wildcats on the ball. They go up top to Ward. Somehow he comes down with it. The dunker spot is open for a second. Hetty forced to back up. Harmon 10 to shoot. Zion to Hetty in the corner. Jacoby on the shorter defender Nunley. He takes the fadeaway shot, misses it. The long rebound comes out to Zion Harmon. Shot clock does reset, even though there was the horn.
And this is a long possession for the Wildcats.
They float it up. Harmon or Hetty catch and finish.
Tried the alley. It kind of gets, bumped in the air, so he doesn't go for the alley-oop finish. Just takes that, jumps again, and makes that easy layup.
Hot start for the Cats, but doesn't really mean anything as Smith fights to keep the ball in play in the corner. He drives and has his shot rejected by Henderson, already his second block of the game.
He's playing really well to start this game out. He's definitely probably looking to try to get that, starting spot and lock it down with a, starting out performing like this. Yeah. 2 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 assists, and a block and 2 blocks. Start of the game.
Nick Gonzalez enters the game for the Panthers, the transfer from Montana State, but originally from Humboldt, Texas, coming back to play in his home state. McGaskey drives, had an open lane, but chooses to kick it out to Brian Miles, who didn't realize there was no time on the shot clock. Turnover, Prairie View A&M.
I don't think anybody on Prairie View realized there was no time on the shot clock, and even the Wildcats didn't look like they were trying to force them to do anything.
Lots of movement for the Panthers in and off the bench. This is the Panthers team that plays their top 7 more than anybody else. 7 players over 20 minutes a game, but other than that, not a lot of players see a ton of time. Harmon off a screen, tried to throw the pick and roll back to Henderson and overshot. Here comes Prairie View in transition, all the way to the hoop. No good, tip in, no good. Third attempt also no good. A fourth attempt is finally put home. You got to get on the glass there if you're Bethune-Cookman.
Yeah, you can't let him get that many bites at the cherry.
Dyson stepped back for the first 3-point attempt of the game, no good. In traffic, Nunley, and the Panthers will reset. Awaiting orders from head coach Byron Smith in his 7th season at the head of the Panthers. Has won 2 SWAC regular season titles and a SWAC tournament title with Prairie View in the last 7 years. SWAC championship back in 2019. Spinning and not finishing was Hopkins.
Prairie View just hasn't had the luck.
Hetty, wide open underneath was Ward, but he couldn't handle the pass.
I think he started thinking about that his dunk before he caught the ball. You know, you see that a lot more often in football where a player will start running before they fully catch it, and then, you know, just a concentration drop basically for Reggie Ward there.
Yeah, the Wildcats, after starting 3 of 3 from the floor, have slipped to 6 of 9. Still 66%, that's good, but Prairie has come back with a vengeance and closed the gap to 6. Still early on in this one, 13 minutes to go first half. Miles on the baseline, twisting, turning. Off the heel, no good. Hetty rises up for the rebound. He is harassed by Hopkins all the way down the floor. Now in a double team, he works out of it.
Oh!
And Yusuf Tamara with the nice move.
That was DJ.
Oh, no, correction, DJ Carter-Hollinger.
A little hezzy sends both defenders past him. Makes the nice little open layup he creates for himself.
And now the Panthers turn it over. Bad pass over the head of Miles.
And now Tamara comes in. You called him out.
I called him out, yeah. But no, back to that play. That's a great individual move by DJ Carter-Hollinger.
Yeah. Had that open, you know, mid-range jump shot, so to speak. Both defenders come closing in on him. He fakes as if he's just going to go up with it immediately. Both defenders commit to the, you know, take the bait. Easy layup for him.
Wildcats working around the wing. Harmon in the low post. Tries to go up and under, and he will go to the free throw line. And in the last couple of games, the Wildcats have been the epitome of hot and cold. They've won a game, lost a game, won a game, lost a game, won a game, and lost a game in each of the last 3 weekends.
So, statistically speaking, we're going to win this one.
Yeah, don't count your chickens before they hatch. But they have been 50-50 in each of the last 3 weekends. And in 4 of the 5 SWAC weekends so far, their only difference was the 2-game winning streak, Southern and Mississippi Valley State.
And that's something, especially once we get closer, you know, I was about to say get closer, we're almost in tournament time, and you don't want to be hot and cold. You just want to keep it, you know, keep the pressure on, and they'll try to look to close out the season and, you know, be consistent as that, you know, last road trip after, you know, the last weekend they play here and more against the Alabama, you know, their Alabama slate of Alabama A&M and Alabama State, playing Southern and Grambling, and then we'll play FAM in Tallahassee for the last game of the regular season.
16-6, lead up to 10 for Bethune-Cookman. Stop and go. Orlando Horton Jr. drives, kicks Miles, baseline, tries to get past Tamara and draws the blocking foul. Is it in the act of shooting is the question. Tamara didn't have his feet set as he crashed to the ground. It was not in the act of shooting.
So Tamara just doesn't get his feet set. And I mean, obviously you don't want him to foul there, but now all of a sudden they have to score again. He makes that bucket while he was on the ground. So you could have a net positive possession.
Miles drives and finishes. And that's, you almost have to plan for Brian Miles doing that to you about 10 times a game. Backdoor pass again, Hetty off the window.
And they're trying to build this lead and keep themselves in a good distance away from the Panthers.
Harmon tried to swipe a pass. McGaskey goes baseline, tried to find Miles, turns it over. Nice stab by Seneca Willoughby. Harmon, transition 3. Back iron, no good. Offensive board, put back off the glass and in for Jacoby Hetty. He's up to 8 points, and the Wildcats lead 20-8. Timeout, Prairie View.
And that's already 10 rebounds just for 4, and most of those were on 1 possession for Prairie View. Early to start this game out. Without shooting a 3, the Wildcats are 8 for 11, 72% from the field, 7 assists and only 1 steal, but have forced 4 turnovers from Prairie View. They've done a great job defensively and done a great job offensively of just working the ball and getting good looks.
Southeast Toyota Dealers is a proud supporter of Bethune-Cookman basketball. Visit your local Toyota dealers or explore Toyota.com today and take advantage of the deals on our full line of vehicles. And in case you missed it, recap all the excitement of a historic National Signing Day for Bethune-Cookman football by checking out the 2024 National Signing Day Show. Hear from head coach Raymond Woody Jr., offensive coordinator Joe Gerbino, and defensive coordinator Robert Wimberly for an inside look at everything Wildcat football. You can catch it anytime at youtube.com/CatEye Network. And I mentioned it in the women's broadcast, but it bears repeating that the Wildcats, 7th in all of FCS in recruiting class rankings right now. It's a Coach Woody special. He's been a top recruiter everywhere he's been. Now as a head coach at his alma mater, he's got extra incentive to bring the best players here to Daytona Beach, and he's done just that.
Did a great job getting, top 10 class in all of FCS. That's a great job from him. Didn't get a chance to recruit last year, but coming into this year, obviously having that extra time in the spring, in the fall rather, in the spring to talk to recruits, to get guys to commit, getting transfers from, good teams across the nation. And, you got a lot of players that are, graduating or seniors now that are going to look to try to have an amazing closeout to their college careers. So look for the Wildcats to have a really good 2024-2025.
Back on the hardwood, the Wildcats have had a very good opening 9 minutes as they lead at 20-8 and have forced 4 Prairie View A&M turnovers. And they've done it, as Henshin mentioned, without shooting a 3. Between the legs, Charles Smith gets to the paint, and that's a tough finish over the top of Yusuf Tamara.
Really tough. He looked like he almost lost the ball while he was going up for that shot. Makes it anyway. 20-10, still a 10-point lead. The Wildcats have kept it at around 8 to 10 points for a good chunk of this first half.
Carter Hollinger pulls up, misses it left. No movement off the ball there for DJ to work with, and the Panthers a chance to cut it to single digits again. Kick to the corner. Gazales catch and shoot. Off the heel, no good.
Gazales had, a decent look, just doesn't make it.
And now here's Seneca Willoughby kicking to the corner. Heady for 3. A little bit too strong. The ball is batted against the floor and eventually picked up by McGaskey. Gazales in the corner again, gives it back to McGaskey, and the Panthers will reset. Shoveled to the baseline. Charles Smith working on DJ Carter Hollinger, finds Miles, goes up, almost gets it swatted by Willoughby, but he does finish, and it's a quick 4-point swing for Prairie View.
DJ did a great job making him pick the ball up there. Just a tough finish at the end of that possession. Now only a single-digit lead for the Wildcats as they look to slow down possession.
Oh, nobody left the paint open, and Jacoby Heady says, I'll take some of that.
And they didn't inbounds the ball correctly. Miles did.
Oh, we have not an injured player, but a Panther, I think, who lost a hair tie. Yeah. Brian Miles had to reset his hair tie, so we have a temporary stoppage of play. That may be one of the more interesting stoppages of play I've seen in my years as a broadcaster. 22-12, Wildcats on top, approaching the halfway point of half number 1. Here's Orlando Horton Jr., the freshman from Houston, Texas. Horton's got the ball again, hands to Hopkins. Hopkins also from Houston, Texas, playing college basketball in his hometown. He pulls up from the top of the arc, hits the heel, no good.
Another board for Heady.
And the Wildcats want to go in transition. Willoughby short corner, and the Wildcats will reset. Heady round the screen to the left. Doesn't take the 3, rifles it underneath. DJ Carter Hollinger, hard off the glass, no good. Correction, that's Henderson to check back in. Both of these teams really want to push the pace as Charles Smith, who's the leading scorer for Prairie View, goes right at the defense and draws the foul. And we're going to have both Elijah Halsey and Damani McIntyre check into the game for Bethune-Cookman.
And Damani McIntyre is good for a steal or two, so look for him to be running around in passing lanes and really making life a struggle there.
Damani McIntyre is number 7 in the nation in steals per game at 2.72, and number 9 in total steals at 54. And in the last game against Alcorn State, he passed the record, as that's a big air ball from Brian Miles. He passed the steals record in a BCU career with 175.
And he's still got some games to go.
And he's still got 8 regular season games to go.
Stretch it out a little bit as he has the ball right now.
The last time the Prairie View A&M Panthers were in this building, which was 2 years ago, is throwing it up, no good, but a foul is DJ. Last time Prairie View was in this building, Damani McIntyre had no points but 4 steals as the Wildcats won by 1 with late game heroics by none other than Wildcat legend Joe French, who's playing at UAPB for his graduate season. So here's DJ Carter Hollinger at the line, sinks his first one. DJ, the senior from San Diego, and a transfer from Montana. First 3 college seasons all the way out there in the Big Sky Conference, was the 2019 Big Sky Freshman of the Year. He has traveled a lot of miles in his college basketball journey.
Much warmer down here compared to Montana.
We have the former rivals, Gonzalez, who played at Montana State, as the Wildcats get a turnover. McIntyre into the front court, shovels it. Dyson, baseline, Euro step, try to get it back to Hulsey, and he couldn't find it. And that leads to a transition chance on the other end, and Hopkins goes to the line.
DJ fouls it tough there to not give up the easy layup.
I think for the Wildcats, on offense, they're trying to do too much. And early on in the game, the backdoor cut was working so well, they're trying to find it even when it's not there.
It's very interesting from a team that loves, work ISO ball and work, long-range shots and deep middies and all that stuff, to all of a sudden see them to play trying to force it into backdoor cuts in situations where, not necessarily needed, but they're playing well.
Hopkins
overall
misses the first free throw. He only shoots 58.8% from the line. Prairie View as a team is 3rd in the SWAC in field goal percentage at 72.6%. But they have started 0 for 2 from the stripe today. That time, Hopkins gets it.
And kind of a full court trap there.
Seneca Willoughby works across the time stripe. 8:40 to go first half. DJ to Hulsey down low. Elijah puts the ball on the floor, loses the ball on the floor, somehow gets it back from his knees, and then gets it back on a rifled pass, and then gets fouled as he went up for a dunk.
Yeah, just gets absolutely hacked. I don't know why necessarily Smith.
Wow, Coach Smith had to be pushed back by the referee as he was clapping. And Coach Smith has got to be careful as to not get a technical foul there.
And
I think he's arguing that he was clapping at his player for good defense and not clapping at the ref for making a foul call as Hulsey hits the first free throw.
And Smith the fourth, I'm not entirely sure why he was, once again, in Moore Gymnasium, we're in the back left corner, so we're about as far away from the action here as we could be. But from our angle, it kind of definitely looked like he made a lot of contact on Hulsey while he was trying to go up for that dunk, and not surprising to see that foul call.
Hulsey gets 1 of 2 there, but that was a great play as McIntyre almost gets a steal, taps it out of bounds. Great play by Hulsey, not only to go up for the dunk, but also to save the play when he almost lost the ball underneath.
Yep, keeping the play alive, keeping the ball in his teammates' hands, kicking it out, and then not giving up after making that play by going on that backdoor cut and getting open.
25-13, back to a 12-point lead. Nice ball movement by Prairie View. This is Chris Felix Jr., and he's got a chance for an and one. Chris Felix, a sophomore from Houston. He will go to the line where he shoots 86%. And crazily enough, that's not the top on the team, as Charles Lane Jr. shoots it at 88% from the line. This is a very good charity stripe team. And so it'll be important for the Wildcats not to give them too many opportunities. After a wide open opening couple of minutes, the game has settled down a little bit. Wildcats have cooled off, shooting 58% now. Panthers just 36%. Harmon, jump pass, extra to the corner, open for 3. Dyson in and out. And a fantastic rebound by Damani McIntyre. He grabbed the ball in midair, realized he wasn't going to save it, and then threw it off the defender as he was going out of bounds.
An amazing play from McIntyre there as we go into this media timeout.
Nike is the official outfitter of the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. Gear up on the newest BCU Nike gear at Nike.com/Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. Make sure you're representing Bethune-Cookman University Athletics to the fullest. Buy the latest BCU gear online at the Bethune-Cookman online store. Go to BCUathletics.com and click on shop to find the newest BCU clothing and apparel. That's BCUathletics.com and click on shop. Henson, the Wildcats have cooled off. They're just one of their last 5 from the field. What has gone away from the Wildcats in the last couple of minutes?
They've, not gotten as good of looks as they were getting earlier on when that backdoor cut was really working. That's where Jacoby Hetty got a lot of his points to start the game out. And they've gotten these tougher looks. The Prairie's been playing tougher defense as we've seen, but they got sent to the line more as the game has progressed. 5 for 6 right now, and they're just gonna have to keep working at it. Maybe get some more threes so they get more space in the paint as the game continues.
Jacoby Hetty, 12 points to lead all scorers. Brian Miles tops on Prairie View with 8. And, we may see a repeat of the women's game where we may have a majority of the points in the contest scored in the paint. But not a lot of the Wildcats' typical run and gun style in the last couple of minutes here, Henson.
Yeah, not exactly what we're used to seeing out of them. I mean, we're used to them playing much like the women's team does and just, transition offense, get a turnover or a quick rebound, flip it over, open 3 opportunity or a dunk or something, and that's just how we're used to them playing.
Ward steps into a jumper and knocks it down. That's more of the ISO play that we're used to seeing in the half court from Bethune-Cookman. Back to an 11-point game, 27-16.
And if they can mix that ISO play with, those set plays, backdoor cuts, they'll have a really good offense.
Ball on the floor. Ward comes away with it. And then he crosses the time stripe as the team resets in front of him. Dyson in the corner, fakes the 3. And then takes the wing 3 and rattles it through. Finally, a triple goes down for Bethune-Cookman. They were 0 for 3 before that.
Yep. And after we saw the women's team still win after not shooting well from beyond the arc,
Flying to the hoop and scoring is Javonte Hopkins. He has got a burst of energy if I've ever seen one. He's only 6 foot even. But we saw him dunking in pregame as Dyson was trapped on the line in front of the Panthers bench and threw it off of Hopkins and out.
A lot of, he loves to, as we've seen in the pregame, he was tomahawking and everything. Surprised by the bounce he has and the, that boost of energy that he really gets when he's driving.
6.5 to play first half. Harmon floats it up. Ward spins in the paint and gets the bucket and 1. Reggie Ward put on a show, young man.
Tough bucket there. A little spin and a tough layup. Gets fouled and goes to the line here.
And a great feed from Zion Harmon as well. Zion has 4 points, only credited with 1 assist. It feels like he should have a couple of more. But the Wildcats have really spread the ball around well. 5 players in the game with an assist right now for the Wildcats. Dyson and Henderson both have 2.
5 players with an assist and 4 players with a steal.
Ward can't hit the and one. It hangs on the rim and falls out. In the corner, open 3. In and out. Wildcats with another nice rebound. McIntyre pushing the pace. He takes a transition triple. Oh, wow! Damani Money from beyond the arc. The Wildcats have pushed the lead to its largest of the night, 35-18. Backdoor pass. Somehow finds the hands of Justin Nimmer. Now a baseline jumper. No good from Charles Lane. Harmon comes away with it. was looking for the transition bucket. They'll slow it down only a little bit, though, as McIntyre now double-teamed. Out high, extra pass, 3 on the way from the wing, no good. Ward tapped that one back. Harmon for 3. This place is going crazy as the Wildcats lead by 20.
An offensive explosion in this first half. Finally, a timeout called.
This place is jumping as we get the Under-8 media timeout. Stay up to date with everything Bethune-Cookman Athletics by checking out the Wildcats on social media. Give BCU Athletics a like on Facebook and follow the Wildcats on Twitter and Instagram at BCU_athletics. For the latest on BCU basketball, follow at BCU Hoops on Twitter and Instagram. Henson, you mentioned offensive explosion, but really it starts on the defensive end.
Yeah, they've been playing some excellent defense, holding them to a 38% field goal percentage. They're only 50% from the line, caused 6 turnovers, playing, making sure that they don't get really any easy looks. We've seen them get some decent ones on the wing in the mid-range area and just can't seem to get them to go, and then they immediately take it in transition and score. And as we've seen, this Prairie View team allows one of the highest field goal percentages in the SWAC, and right now, Wildcats are taking advantage of that. They're shooting 62% from the field, almost 50% from 3, only 71% from free throw, but it's 5 of 7.
Yeah. Well, and the Wildcats, remember, started 0 for 4 from beyond the arc. So they've hit 3 of their last 4 threes. The only one that missed was one by DJ Carter Hollinger.
Yep.
And that's not really his game to take the 3.
Not really at all. And, if you look at the personal foul game, 5 fouls for the Wildcats and 4 for Prairie View, so no one's in foul trouble. This is about as good, especially if they can keep this up to close out this first half. We've seen them have trouble before closing out a half, especially after playing that well after a break. If they can keep that going, they'll be in a tip-top shape heading into the second half.
But Bethune-Cookman basketball is sponsored by Southeast Toyota Dealers. Visit your local Toyota dealer today. Toyota, let's go places. And the Wildcats offense is going places right now.
And don't expect Prairie View's offense to, not try to go anywhere anymore. They're going to try to get back into this game.
Drive and kick, 3 on the way, in and out, and another rebound for Bethune-Cookman. What was that key to the game, you said?
Yeah, you can't allow them to keep getting these boards. Bethune-Cookman was at 18-9 for Prairie View, literally doubling their rebound in total.
5 minutes first quarter, and right now maybe what might be the best half of Bethune-Cookman basketball against the D1 opponent this season. I take away the game against Trinity Baptist. Hetty, shot fakes, fades away, can't finish off the glass.
Really tough shot he went for there. Felt the pressure from the, help defender.
Zion harassing the Prairie View player. Horton stops at the free throw line and resets. Now gets it back, open for 3, good. Finally, a slide of 2 minutes, and 8-0 for Bethune-Cookman is broken by a 3-pointer from Orlando Horton Jr.
Yeah. And Zion Harmon was on a mismatch on a much taller defender in the paint. Obviously, they will take that 3. And
I think timeout called by Coach Byron Smith. Nope, it was a warning on the Prairie View bench.
I don't know who Coach Smith was yelling at after the warning.
Well, he is hot right now. I mean, his team is down 38-21, but
certainly isn't going to help if you get a technical.
Oh, well, he might have just lit a fire under his team as Kevin McGaskey gets his shot blocked. Flying in was Reggie Ward, and his goaltending, unfortunately, but man, what a highlight play. And if you're the coaching staff, yes, he gave up the goaltend, but you got to love the effort.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to have somebody go for that open layup, he doesn't even get the satisfaction of making it. He gets the points, but everyone in the building thought he just got rejected on the tail end of that possession.
Couple of high ball screens. Dancing is Deshaun Dyson, 8 to shoot. Tries to get past his defender, floats up a wild one. Offensive rebound by DJ. Zion has his pass deflected, and Hetty can't stay with it. But then Zion almost poked it away from Megaski and picks up the foul. And we have another media timeout, and the game seemed to settle down for a bit, Henson, and now it's picked up the intensity a little bit.
Yep, and Prairie View has to pick up the tempo. You know, they can't afford to just, you know, go in and play how they've been playing to start this first half off. You know, they got to get some better looks going. Shooting 40% from the field now. But they're going to have to keep trying to pressure the Wildcats defensively. You know, cause them some turnovers, cause them some strife.
VCU baseball is back this Friday. It's time to pack the jack. Come out and support the Wildcats as they look to build off a SWAC title run last season. First pitch of the 2024 season is set for Friday, February 16th at 7 p.m. as we host the Stonehill Skyhawks of the NEC. Tickets are available for as little as $10 at the VCU box office, or if you're further afield, you can catch all the action live at youtube.com/CatEye Network. Myself and Bryce Wojnowski will be on the call for that one. No offense to basketball, but baseball is where my heart lies. I love getting back to it every year. It signals that spring is around the corner. Great job. It's looking forward to getting back to the diamond this week.
Yeah, spring always also baseball also always signals summer to me as well, and getting out and graduating and all that. But, you know, the Jack is an amazing ballpark. You know, I'd recommend anybody who's in the Daytona Beach area, Volusia County, or, you know, even just Central Florida to catch a game there. You know, the Wildcats play there. And the Daytona Tortugas, the Cincinnati Reds affiliate, if you just want to catch some, you know, single-A baseball, you know, it's a great venue for that. On the beach and everything, beachside's beautiful at night, all that kind of stuff, as the Wildcats and the Panthers get back underway.
Panthers currently on a 5-0 run over the last 2 minutes. They were down by 20. It's now 38-23. Hesitation, drive, lots of contact, no whistle, and a rebound for Seneca Willoughby. Dyson looking for a post-up, won't find it, has to reset to Willoughby. McIntyre looking to set the screen. They throw it back to DJ. Extra pass into the corner. That's a tough one-legged floater from Damani McIntyre that won't go. Now,
Damani must have been feeling himself. He kind of had Hetty on that, you know, could have gave it back to him, but takes that tough mid-range, deep one-legged floater.
Lane back to the top. Driving, Lane got it back. Spinning in the lane, guarded by McIntyre, bucket and one. And they get McIntyre for the foul as well. And a chance for an 8-0 Prairie View run here to close the half. And again, you never count out anybody in the SWAC, no matter how much the deficit was. I mean, Bethune-Cookman was down a long way to Alcorn State, and they eventually came back and tied it at the half. Yeah. Not saying Prairie View's going to do that right now, but you can't stop playing.
Never can stop playing. We also saw that in the Jackson State game for the Wildcats, where they were, you know, in trouble, and then ended up coming back and winning that game. Or Southern, rather, not Jackson State.
Yeah, Southern. The Wildcats never led in regulation and eventually won in overtime in probably the best game at Moore Gym this year. DJ drives, spins past Miles. Tough floater is good.
And those are the kind of shots that you want to end a run on. Tough basket. Get the energy back with your team.
Miles on the other end against Carter. Hollinger turns the ball over. Dyson rips it away. Deshaun skips through. Did he travel? Yes. The traveling bug has infected Moore Gym. We saw it a bunch in the women's game and now a couple of times in the men's game as well.
Kind of tried to get the Euro step action going, and guess he just double tapped or put both of his feet down. Getting called for the travel.
Wildcats up 40-26. Have led by as many as 20 It is now just 14. Smith in traffic. Shovel back to Lane. Charles Lane takes a shot and hits it in the face of Damani McIntyre.
A tough basket there. McIntyre played about as good a defense as he can.
Wildcats with 1:13 on the clock. The lead has been dwindled to 12. A 10-2 run for Prairie View over the last couple of minutes. And Willoughby has the ball go over the backcourt, and it's another turnover. Oh, they're saying it's a deflection, and the Wildcats will get to keep the ball. So the Wildcats will have 7 to shoot. The referees say it's a deflection.
Yeah.
Byron Smith incensed. And hold on, we may have a technical foul here. Nope. As Byron Smith got in the grill of the official, Wildcats play on 1 to shoot. 3 from the corner, no good. Offensive rebound though, and the Wildcats will take it back out. McIntyre had a chance for an easy putback there and just dribble back to the top. They try to throw the alley-oop, but it's no good. Wildcats trying to be too fancy, but it's poked away again. Hetty can't keep the ball in play. And now Coach Theus is incensed as he thinks the ball was still in.
Both coaches frustrated with officiating to close this first half.
Wildcats, no matter what they try, cannot break the momentum of Prairie View, and they're up 40 to 28. It's a weird thing for me to say, it feels like, but Prairie View has owned the last 5 minutes on a 10-2 run to close the half.
But there's still 40 seconds left, and if the Wildcats can force a miss or a turnover and get some points going at the end of the half, it'll look better going into the locker room.
Orlando Horton tries to go left. Good switch from Damani McIntyre. Wildcats switch on every interaction. Zip to the corner. Horton spins, fades away. Blocked by McIntyre. Great defense by the Wildcats. 16 to go in the half.
And they're going to look to hold for the last shot here.
Dyson trapped on the midcourt line. Willoughby from the moon off the heel, no good. 6/10 of a second to shoot. It is up. It is no good. Don't think it would have counted anyway. So both teams struggling in the last 2 minutes, but it's Prairie View down 40 to 28 that does have the momentum here at the end of half number 1. But the Wildcats do hang on to lead it 40-28 after a strong opening half. Henson, your thoughts on the first 20?
I thought the first half was an amazing performance for the Wildcats. Up until that last 5, they kind of let Prairie View get back in it because we were going in thinking that they could go into the half up 20+. But, Prairie View didn't give up and have found themselves back in the game. One thing that they're going to have to do is rebound. We said that as the key of the game. They are only at 11 rebounds compared to the Wildcats' 23. 9 assists for the Wildcats compared to 8 for Prairie View. And the steals game is even. They're just going to have to hit more boards. They've allowed 8 offensive rebounds for the Wildcats, and that's one of the reasons they're down right now, 12.
We'll get the full stats breakdown on the Toyota dealers halftime report when we come back. We'll let you listen to the pep band, and when we come back, it's the second half between the Wildcats and Prairie A&M Panthers right here on the CatEye Network. Welcome back to More Gymnasium as we get you started for the second half between the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats and the Prairie View A&M Panthers. The Wildcats currently have a 40-28 lead. It's now time for your Southeast Toyota Dealers halftime report. Let's take a look at today's scores at the half. First for Prairie View. Miles leads the way with 8 points, 4 of 6 on the floor, and 3 rebounds. Lane has 5, Hopkins also with 5. Horton and Felix with 3, McGaskey and Smith with 2. Altogether, the Panthers are just 41% from the floor, 20% from 3, and 60% from the free throw line, just 3 of 5. For Bethune-Cookman, Jacoby Hetty leads the way with 12. Zion Harmon had a quiet first half for his standards and still has 7. Reggie Ward and DJ Carter Hollinger both have 6. Deshaun Dyson and Jamani McIntyre have 3. James Henderson has 2. Elijah Hulsey has 1. Hetty also has a game-high 4 rebounds, so might we be on double-double watch, Henson White?
We might be for Hetty. I mean, he's been flashing to the rim at any opportunity. You know, the Wildcats obviously have a plan to crash the boards against this Prairie View team. They're not strong on the glass. They take advantage of that. Hetty, Ward, Harmon, Dyson, Henderson, Carter, Hollinger, and McIntyre all have more than 2 rebounds. And then Tamara and Willoughby both have 1. That totals out to 23 total rebounds, including that Hetty 4, compared to just upholstery 11 for Prairie View.
And but you talk about all the stats that favor the Wildcats. It's really Prairie View that has the momentum. The Wildcats led by 20 with 4:50 to go in the first, and then they got a 10-2 run put on them by the Panthers to close the first half, although both teams were scoreless for the last 135 of that first half. How do the Wildcats at the start of the second come out and break the momentum of Prairie View?
It would be a great time. They come out and just get a, go on their own run and just keep, and match Prairie View for the rest of the way. Then they're in a situation where even if Prairie View goes on a run, unless they go on a absurd run towards the end of the game, they'll be in a winning position. And that just makes it much easier for them to be able to play their style of basketball. They can slow, and then even in the style of basketball they can play, they will be able to slow it down. They'll, if there's like 4 minutes left and they're up by 15 or 10, they won't, they don't have to push the pace as much. They'll be able to get the best look possible in a possession. They won't feel rushed. It'll just be an easier way for them to win. But don't expect Prairie View to just go away quietly into the night here.
That was your Southeast Toyota Dealers halftime report. Visit your local Toyota dealer or explore Toyota.com today. No matter your destination, Toyota goes with you. Toyota, let's go places. And let's take a look at the men's basketball standings in the SWAC. It's a close one, top to bottom, pretty much. Southern and Grambling lead the way at 7-2. Alabama State and Texas Southern are second at 6-3. Arkansas, Pine Bluff, and Bethune-Cookman right behind them at 5-4. Prairie View, Jackson State, and Alcorn State, and Alabama A&M all at 4-5. And then FAMU at 2-7. Mississippi Valley State 0-9. So let's say Alabama A&M wins today. They could jump from 10th all the way to 5th.
Yeah.
It's that close in the middle of the pack.
The only people that are really out of it are FAM, who in theory, if they win out, could still go to the tournament. But it's kind of up for Valley State. But everybody else is it has a real genuine chance of going to that tournament in Birmingham.
And it all depends on seeding. And of course, the Wildcats have been kind of the giant slayers of the SWAC this year. Whistle and a stoppage of play. They're going to get a hand check foul on James Henderson. That's his first. But seeding matters, I think, a little bit less on the men's side. You still want to get a high seed, but as opposed to the women's side where you want to avoid your Jackson States and your Southerns and your Grambling States. Ball out of bounds. It's a Wildcat ball. But the Wildcats, as I mentioned, right, kind of giant killers. Southern, Grambling State, Alabama State, Texas Southern, the top 4. The Wildcats have beat 2 of those 4 and have a chance to beat 3 of those 4 against Texas State on Monday. Or Texas Southern, rather, on Monday.
Yeah, they have a real opportunity to kind of cement themselves as just, one of those teams that you don't want to play. They, beat the best teams. It just makes it harder for teams that, might be worse than those other teams on paper to come in and be like, well, I think we can win that game. This makes it tougher on everybody else.
Harmon 3 to shoot. Has to heave up a prayer. It doesn't even hit the rim, so it's a shot clock violation. Been a tough day for Zion Harmon. He's got 7 points, but only 2 of 4 shooting, 1 of 2 from the free throw line. or from the three-point line, 2 of 2 from the three-point line. Not only 1 assist, not up to his usual high standards, which is wild to say with the Wildcats still up by 12.
Yeah, I mean, it could, obviously it's like, oh, well, you know, he could be playing better, but even though he's not playing the best, the team is still in a good position.
Short on the layup, Miles had a second chance at it, couldn't finish. Zion in transition. He goes all the way to the hoop, and he heard us talking about him and says, watch this. Harmon up to 9, 42-28 the score.
And the Wildcats are trying to take advantage of miscues offensively from the Panthers. Turnover on their first possession and then a miss on their second.
Panthers just shooting 41% from the floor right now. There's a pull up from the corner. That's a long 2 for Charles Smith, the 4th. He is their best three-point shooter at 38.6%. We really haven't seen Prairie View go to that 3 that much, as Harmon tried to shovel it underneath to Henderson, who couldn't handle the pass. Panthers going hard to the paint, and that's a foul, as Smith will go to the line, and that's Reggie Ward's first personal. And we talked about foul trouble the women's game, about how nobody really got in foul trouble for either team, and how that was a big difference. Nobody really in foul trouble right now. Zion, the only player with more than 1 foul in the game right now. He's got 2. This is Charles Lane Jr. at the line. He's the best free throw shooter on the team at 88%. An Orlando, Florida native, played ball at Jones High School, averaged 18 points and 4 rebounds in his senior year. He started the junior college ranks at Florida Southwestern State before going 2 years at Eastern Illinois. And now here at Prairie View. There's the pick and roll. Henderson fighting down low. And a nice job by Hetty to let 2 defenders go by him before he finishes off the glass.
Yeah, intelligent play by Hetty, waiting for both the defenders to be at, you know, land, so then when he goes up, they can't go back up.
Another drive from Lane. Tough shot won't go. Hopkins got his own miss and then got fouled on the putback, much to the chagrin of the fans here at Moore Gymnasium.
The smallest guy on the court almost gets the board there.
Smallest guy in the building is Andre Nunley, 5'10". But Javante Hopkins, 6 foot tall, and is the second leading rebounder on the team at 4.5 per game. He makes the first one. Hopkins from Houston, Texas. One of 3 Houston players on this team, Orlando Horton Jr., Javante Hopkins, and Chris Felix Jr., all playing for their hometown colleges. And this a chance to cut this lead to 10. And he does, 44-34. Prairie View has started the second half well as closing the first half on a run. And there's a reach-in foul against Horton. Something we mentioned before the broadcast incident and haven't really brought up in conversation yet is the fact that the Panthers don't play a really deep bench in terms of minutes. Their top 6 got a lot of minutes, but other than that, it's kind of hit or miss on the bench. So if the Wildcats can get some Panthers in foul trouble, it may get results down the line, but Henderson turns the ball over. Harmon almost strips Hopkins in transition, and then Hetty does strip the ball. He gets it to Zion, who loses it out of bounds. It'll stay with the Wildcats. No whistle other than that.
3 Panthers defenders fly by, literally Zion Harmon. No foul call.
Long inbounds pass, and it's stolen away by Prairie View. In transition, Miles to the rack for score, and it's under a 10-point game. The Wildcats led by 20 with 4:50 to go in the first. And here come the Panthers. It's an 8-point lead, and we go to the first media timeout of the second half. Home basketball conference play continues for BCU Monday, February 10th. For a SWAC doubleheader, come out and catch BCU hoops action as we host Texas Southern for a pair of critical SWAC contests. The women set to tip things off at 5:30 with the men. Following at 7:30, admission is free with student ID. Can't make it to more? Catch all the action live on youtube.com/CatEye Network. And Southeast Toyota Dealers is a proud supporter of Bethune-Cookman basketball. Visit your local Toyota dealers or explore Toyota.com today and take advantage of the deals on our full line of vehicles. Henson, fast start for Prairie View in this second half.
Yeah, eight points for Prairie View, only 4 for the Wildcats. You know, they can't let Prairie View kind of pull away from them. And the main difference is they're 2 for 5 from the line, Prairie View is, and 2 for 3 for the Wildcats. But 4 trips to the line to start out the second half for Prairie View, which is where they've gotten a solid half of their points from to start it out. So look for the Wildcats to try to stop fouling so much on the defensive end and try to get back to what was working for them in the first half offensively.
Wildcats have struggled with turning the ball over. Already 3 turnovers in the first 3.5 minutes of the second half. They've turned it over 12 times so far in the game. They turn it over on average 15 times a game, which is not great. It's down to the bottom of the SWAC. But they do force 17.5 turnovers per game, which is tops in the conference. But only 9 Prairie View turnovers to this point, leading to 9 points off turnovers for BCU, 13 points off turnovers for the Panthers. The Wildcats have come out flat in the second half after dominating most of the first half except the last couple of minutes. They still have the lead, but it is just 8. Reggie Ward has his shot batted away by Brian Miles. He's got a team-leading 21 blocks on the season coming into the game, and he gets his first of the night right there.
A tough attempt by Reggie Ward. Just, you can't go that soft into a defender like Miles.
Got to get the ball in. They do to Hetty in the corner. Jacoby, tough defense from Charles Smith, and a foul called, no basket. And they'll get Smith with the foul. That'll be his second. First player on Prairie View with more than 1 personal foul. But not a shooting foul.
Whoa.
And I guess the referees are talking about it potentially being a shooting foul, as Coach Theus is in the grill of the referees. The referee crew has heard it from both coaches, both Theus and Brian Smith.
And now it's a
2-shot penalty. So they will send Jacoby Hetty to the line after conversation. And that's where, as a head coach, you try and draw the line, and now Byron Smith is going to give an earful to the referee as Hetty takes his 2 foul shots.
Yeah. Especially when, your bench gets a warning, and obviously the Wildcats bench is not, so you, of course, are going to be, feel some type of way about that.
But to finish my point, right, as a coach, you have to tightrope the line to where you're in the referee's ear about things, but you don't over-push it, and to where you're costing your team by getting technical fouls. Wildcats back up by double digits. Smith on the baseline. Jab step, up and under for the score. And now the Panthers press a little bit on Zion Harmon as he dribbles down the floor. Draws a double team, Ward open, skips to the paint, Hetty closed down by Smith. He spins past Smith and he gets fouled. Game recognized game a little bit there as Smith helps pick up
Hetty. Sportsmanship. Probably helps that the foul isn't on him, so.
I believe the foul is on Miles. It is. No, they do get Smith for the foul, his 3rd. But Hetty misses his first free throw attempt.
And Smith has had the tied most minutes for this Prairie View team at 19.
Miles Smith and Hopkins are really the top 3 players for the Panthers. You don't want any of them to be in foul trouble. Panthers race into the front court. And that's a kick ball as it's off the foot of Zion Harmon. And we head to the under 16 media timeouts. In case you missed it, recap all the excitement of a historic National Signing Day for Bethune-Cookman football by checking out the 2024 National Signing Day Show. Hear from head coach Raymond Woody Jr., offensive coordinator Joe Gerbino, and defensive coordinator Robert Wimberly for an inside look at everything Wildcats football. You can catch it anytime at youtube.com/CatEye Network. And 10-7 Prairie View outscoring BCU in this second half so far. 50% from the floor for both teams, but again, the Wildcats have gone back to old ways, unfortunately, and have turned the ball over here to start the second.
Yeah, I mean, they had a good start to the second half, taking advantage of Prairie View miscues, but as time has gone on, they've kind of allowed Prairie View to get more control of the game. Still a 9-point lead, but certainly not a 9-point lead that you're comfortable with.
This really kind of feels like the opposite of the Southern game, where Southern was ahead the whole time and then BCU came back late, forced overtime, eventually won the game. And it kind of feels like we're in that precarious situation right now where the Wildcats are kind of clinging to this 9-point lead.
Yeah. I mean, they're getting outscored, only outscored by 3 in this second half, but
if you combine it with the last 5 minutes of the first half, they're probably getting outscored by about 15 over that 8-minute span. As we are back from break, Michael Trillo, Hanson White's our great broadcast crew here on the CatEye Network. Eugene Robinson producing. It'll be 24 to shoot for Prairie View after they inbound the ball. Prairie View looking for their first win against Bethune-Cookman since the Wildcats joined the SWAC in 2021. The ball is picked up by the Panthers, kicked to the corner, and a 3 is good. Only the second triple of the game for Prairie View, and it's a 6-point game. Harmon harassed by Horton. Zion didn't get it back from Reggie Ward. Now he does, under the basket. And it's a foul as he got collapsed on. He wants it to be a shooting foul. I'm not sure he's going to get that one. But they will get Lane for the foul.
Yeah. Can't ride another man in a basketball game and not get a foul call. Kind of jumped on Harmon's neck there.
Not a shooting foul, so Wildcats just up by 6. Ward makes the catch, 18 to shoot. Reggie clears out and gets it blocked by Miles at the point of attack, right at the rim.
Miles stepped on his teammate who fell on Reggie Ward's drive there on the way back down.
Long 3, no good. Miles, another offensive board. Correction, that's Andre Nunley, shortest player on the team. Only the 5th offensive rebound for Prairie View in the game. But the Panthers have a chance to cut the lead even further. And they will get another chance at the free throw line. The putback jam is no good. But they will go to the line. And Reggie Ward picks up his 3rd foul. Something's got to change for the Wildcats as the momentum with ever since the last kind of 5 minutes of the first half has been all Prairie View.
And not really doing anything offensively. Prairie View has now had more shots total in this game compared to the Wildcats. And when we went to the half, there was a much bigger difference in the rebounding battle. Now it's only 25-16, which is still good. It just hasn't amounted to much when you look at the offensive rebounds being 6 to 9. And 12 Cookman turnovers certainly isn't helping.
1 out of 2 from the line for Orlando Horton. 5-point game. Remember, the Wildcats have led by as many as 20, 38-18. Harmon drives into the paint, gets a foul call blocking style as he tried to kick it out to Jacoby Hetty. Hopkins picks up the foul, his first. Kind of the energy has gone out of Moore Gym a little bit.
Yeah, it's quieted down a little bit compared to how it was when, the team was up 20.
DJ Carter Hollinger and Deshaun Dyson have checked in for Bethune-Cookman. Harmon takes a long three, no good. 4 black jerseys there to rebound the ball.
Damani McIntyre on a solo attempt at getting that board.
Horton throws it up, no good. Miles still fighting for the rebound. It squirts through to Hopkins. He misses the shot.
Great job by McIntyre blocking that shot on the way up.
And then a take foul in the middle of the floor by Horton. And not this foul, but the next foul, the Wildcats will be in the bonus with 14 minutes to go in the game.
Yeah, plenty of fouls done by the Panthers in this tail end, in the middle of this second half. Felt like every possession the Wildcats have had, there's been a foul on Prairie View.
Hetty has the ball poked out of bounds by Kevin McGaskey. McGaskey scores 3.8 points a game, but really he is the engine for this Prairie View offense, leads the team in assists with 47. Hetty fakes the three, drives, puts it up, gets it to go. Jacoby Hetty up to 19 for the game. Nobody else has really gone with him scoring-wise. Quickly to the baseline for Lane. He steps back, takes the three, misses it short, and somehow Prairie View gets another offensive rebound, a third offensive rebound, and Nunley cashes in. It's a complete opposite of what happened in the first half.
Oh, it's a timeout.
Prairie View takes a timeout, down by 5. Wow. Nike is the official outfitter of the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. Gear up on the newest BCU Nike gear at nike.com/Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. Make sure you are representing Bethune-Cookman University Athletics to the fullest. Buy the latest BCU gear online to the Bethune-Cookman online store. Go to bcuathletics.com and click on shop to find the newest BCU clothing and apparel. That's bcuathletics.com and click on shop. 16-9 in the second half for Prairie View. And in the second half, I will look up rebounding numbers for the second half only.
Out of this timeout, the Wildcats are going to look to obviously try to score some more. They haven't really been at the races offensively in this second half.
Yeah, so I found the rebounding numbers, and it's 9-3 in total rebounds in the second half, 6-1 in offensive rebounds in half number 2 for Prairie View. And that is how they've gotten back into this game, just dominating on the glass, where the Wildcats had them beat in the opening 15 minutes. Zion, nowhere really to go with the ball. He has to call his own number, and he gets it to go from the free throw line.
Tough shot by Zion Harmon. Takes that possession and makes it with his own.
Lane responds in kind with a three. The gap is down to 4 with 12 minutes to go. 12:50 to go, excuse me. And the energy in this building has just been deflated like a balloon. Hetty's been the top offensive player in the game. He's got 19. Nobody else for the Wildcats even close to that. Dyson dances, long three, oh yes!
And returns the effort.
But the Panthers look to go fast. Lane in the lane. Miles offensive rebound and one.
And all of a sudden, this Panthers team is going to be, has stayed in striking distance for much of this second half. And really, the second half plus the end of the first half, tail end of that first half.
Three-point play committed by Miles. Miles up to 13. Lane has 13. Those are the top two scorers for Prairie View. Harmon tries to get to the baseline, does get to the baseline, shovels it to Ward, and he is fouled.
And now the Wildcats are going to get a bonus after that one.
That is a shooting foul, so they'll shoot 2, but any other non-shooting foul, it'll be a 1-and-1 for the next 3 fouls. But the Wildcats lead is down to 4. It was 20 at 38-18 with 4:50 to go in the first.
And, if the Wildcats want to rebuild that lead, taking advantage of being in the bonus is what they're going to have to do, Try to get fouled on, reaches, and try to take advantage of the aggressiveness that the Panthers have been showing. Get to the line, make your free throws.
Yeah. Since it was 38-18, the score since then is 32-19 Prairie View, so almost reversing that score completely. 56-50 after 2 free throws were good from Reggie Ward. Ward 65% for the charity stripe on the season, made both that time. Trapped on the baseline. Is Smith out of bounds? Yes, he is, and the Wildcats finally force a turnover, and it'll be a timeout as head coach Byron Smith is hot. And, he's a very successful coach at this level. 2 regular season titles and a SWAC tournament title in 2019. And he came across Houston as the former head coach at Texas Southern, but he also was with an AAU club. He's been with the Harlem Globetrotters before, and also McLennan Community College. And in his playing days, Byron Smith was at Texas A&M and Houston, and overseas and professionally in Australia, Turkey, and Greece.
Once again, more Jim gets real loud. So during these media break timeouts.
Stay up with everything Bethune-Cookman Athletics by checking out the Wildcats on social media. Give BCU Athletics a like on Facebook and follow the Wildcats on Twitter and Instagram at BCU_athletics. For the latest on BCU basketball, follow at BCU Hoops on Twitter and Instagram. And don't miss a second of Wildcat basketball this season. Get your tickets to catch Bethune-Cookman basketball live at Moore Gymnasium, starting at just $50. Get your tickets today at the BCU box office or at Ticketmaster.com. Well, after today, you've only got 3 more chances to see BCU here at Moore Gymnasium. That is Monday against Texas Southern, and the 24th of February against Alabama A&M, and the 26th against Alabama State. 6-point game, Henson, and really from this point onwards, anybody's game.
Yeah, that 20-point lead doesn't matter right now. It's 56-50 with, almost basically another quarter of basketball to play.
It's the pep band always makes it lively in here. But the Wildcats, coming off a Prairie View turnover, have a chance to turn the screws a little bit here on offense. Harmon, who's got 11 points tonight, 50% from the floor, 4 of 8. Controls, drives, foul and 1. Zion Harmon.
A great finish there. And, I think that's what this Wildcats team's going to need. Hetty and Harmon are usually your main guys scoring. Dyson hasn't really been at the races. He made 2 threes today, but he's played the most minutes. Could just be feeling the effects of playing so much basketball.
Harmon good. He's 3 of 3 from the line tonight. He is 94% from the line this season. That is the best in the SWAC. Wildcats have pushed it to a 9-point lead again. 11:30 to go. Horton Jr. reverses direction. Here's Smith, drives, off balance, kicks it. And then a block on the outside. Unfortunately, McIntyre gave it right back to Prairie View. Euro step, layup won't go. Nice defensive possession there for the Wildcats.
Great defensive possession, and I think Smith's feeling the effects.
Uh-oh, Zion for three. Nope, off the heel, but it's out of bounds. Right back to McIntyre. Damani resets, and the Wildcats have another chance at it. Petty teasing his defender with that deep pull-up. Harmon to Ward in the low block. Ward going to work, spins inside and gets fouled. Nice job by Reggie Ward. He has had the unenviable task today of going head-to-head with Brian Miles. Miles has 13 points, Ward has 8.
I mean, Reggie Ward's done a great job throughout the season of trying to be that offensive guy, driving all the time, getting fouled hard, and it often has those tougher matchups defensively, especially when the team isn't playing a real big man.
Yeah, both of the Wildcats' true centers on the bench right now, that being James Henderson and Elijah Hulsey. So Ward has the task of playing the 5 at only 6'11". Correction, 6'6".
He was 6'11".
He would be playing the 5, yeah. And a steal by McIntyre. He does that better than anybody else in the conference, and he converts it into points. Wildcats have stolen the momentum back, and it's back to a 13-point game.
Yeah, but if they get more gymnasium, Rod and Rowdy, if Prairie View doesn't score on this possession, the Wildcats do, look for them to take a timeout.
Long three, good.
Never mind.
He shot that one all the way from Eatonville, Florida, did Charles Lane. And he made it work. 10-point game. Zion between the legs. Dances to the paint, loses the handle, and saves it. 15 to shoot. Fakes the dribble handoff. Ward to the baseline, to the rack, and he's fouled and one. Reggie Ward has scored all 4 of the Wildcats' last 4 points.
Locked in is what Reggie Ward is. He's doing a great job of just keep driving, keep getting fouled, keep going to the line. Now an and one opportunity for him.
Got it, and the Wildcats have pushed the lead back to 13. Prairie View got it as low as 4. Little bit of a run for the Wildcats here to get some separation with 9.5 to go. McCaskey, handoff, Lane in the corner. Lane working on McIntyre. McIntyre has him in a straight jacket, and he turns the ball over. Ward feeling himself, but loses the handle, and then he touched it before the ball hit the ground as he was standing out of bounds. And that's just a little bit unfortunate for Reggie.
That's just unlucky, and Coach Steele is going to tell him you can't give up. Even though the ball is ripped out of your hands and you're looking for that foul, you can't just stand still.
Wildcats have hit 6 of their last 8 shots and have gotten a couple of key turnovers. Both teams have turned the ball over 12 times. The speed of Andre Nunley. The finish of Andre Nunley over the top of McIntyre. Coach Theus looking concerned.
Perplexed even. Both coaches very animated on the sidelines.
Hetty fakes the 3, floats it up, no good. Miles boxes out for the rebound, and it's poked away, still Panthers ball. Hetty's been the one guy that's kind of cooled off for the Wildcats, had 19 points, most of those in the first half.
Reggie Ward has heated up 13 points, most of those in the second.
Wide open for 3 was Lane. Doesn't take it as he was closed down on by Ward. Ward trying to win the battle. He does not. He throws it to the corner where Hopkins collects. Hopkins Euros through traffic and will be fouled. almost had another turnover.
Almost, but, you know, no cigar there. Tough foul call. You know, the defending Wildcat there was kind of trying to back up, trying not to give him the foul call, but ends up getting it anyway.
So Javante Hopkins, the Tarleton State transfer, to the line for two. Hopkins' brother, Nevaeh Hopkins, is a running back for New Mexico State at the Division I level. So, athletic family.
The Lobos.
No, that's New Mexico. New Mexico State is the Aggies.
They are the Aggies.
If anybody is listening from the state of New Mexico, we are sorry.
My bad.
So Reggie Ward comes out after picking up his 4th foul. And so the hottest hand the Wildcats have at the moment is Ryden Pine with 8:16 to go. And the Cats up just 9.
But you do have scores in there, and Hetty and Harmon, and if Dyson can get hot, you know, obviously he would help a lot here to try to close this game out for the Wildcats.
McIntyre double teams. Harmon, low block, backs up. Fakes the 3, guarded by Miles. He takes the 3, guarded by Miles. He doesn't make it.
He's kind of double-checked, I guess, and pulled it.
Whoa, look out. High-speed car crash. And to the line for a 1-and-1 go the Panthers, because that is the bonus for Bethune-Cookman as well. And we'll do that after the immediate timeout. That'll actually be Zion Harmon's 3rd personal foul. Come be a part of BCU Athletics and support the CatEye Network. If you or your business is interested in partnering with us here on the CatEye Network, you can reach out to the Wildcats Athletic Communications Department at bcusportsinfo@cookman.edu. That's bcusportsinfo@cookman.edu. There is no BC without you. Show your support for Bethune-Cookman Athletics by joining the Wildcat Champions Club today. Help us build a championship culture at Bethune-Cookman. You can donate and join at cookman.scalefunder.com. That's cookman.scalefunder.com. So the game has kind of evened out a bit over the last couple of minutes. Prairie View still outscoring the Wildcats in this half, but now just 29-26. Just by 3, and the Wildcats had a 12-point lead. Going into the break, that's a 9-point Wildcat lead right now, and they got hot for a second, pushed the lead back to 13, but have been scoreless over the last 150, and now Reggie Ward on the bench with 4 fouls, Zion Harmon with 3 fouls. It's getting a little testy down there.
You know, basketball is a game of runs, and if the Wildcats can get on a good run to close this game out, they'll leave the, you know, Prairie View with around, I'd say, 5 minutes left. And if they're up by a sizable margin, they should be in good shape to close this game out. One thing I want to point out is their main players for Prairie View all have 3, most of them have 3 fouls. Bagayski, Miles, and Smith all on 3 fouls. And if those guys get into foul trouble, you have a bench that doesn't play a ton. Horton also has 2, who is one of their, their main 6 men off the bench. So if we can get them in foul trouble, especially adding the bonus to that, now all of a sudden you can maybe foul out one of these key players for this Prairie View team while getting points.
Lane has a team-high 16 points, 3 of 6 from 3 for him. Jacoby Hetty still leads the way for all scorers with 19, as Hopkins is at the line for a 2-shot penalty. Excuse me, this is a 1-and-1, and he made the first one.
More Jim trying to show how much they do not like him at the line.
Jacoby Hetty's season high in points is 25 in the loss to Arkansas Pine Bluff. That was the last game before Zion Harmon came back to playing. McIntyre looking to the corner. Harmon fakes the 3, step back, takes the 3. Offensive board and a foul underneath will send DJ Carter Hollinger to the line.
Crashes in a little bit too hard doesn't get any ball, in fact, gets all DJ and sends him to the line there.
Carter Hollinger actually leads the team in field goal percentage at 57% coming into the game, but he misses that first of a two-shot penalty, and it's still a 6-0 run for Prairie View to close the gap to just 7.
And that is on Nunley.
Makes the second one, ending a 2:06 scoreless drought for the Wildcats. Lead back to 8. Here's a drive by Hopkins. Here's a score by Hopkins. As the Wildcats have had nothing defensively for those drives here in the second half. Close out to Deshaun Dyson. Got to get the ball away. Finds Jacoby Hetty on the wing. Hetty one-on-one with Charles Smith. He dances, he shoots, he misses short. Offensive rebound to Monty McIntyre. Here's a three from the corner. It's good! Third triple of the game for Deshaun Dyson. That's all 3 of his field goals.
Been a very catch-and-shoot mode today.
Wild pass, and it's a turnover as Lane almost lost it out of bounds. It's a race for the ball. It's a Panthers ball. Andre Nunley was step for step with Deshaun Dyson, and he crashed into the wall behind the baseline, and we might have a injury timeout here.
The literal wall here in Moore Gymnasium. Not the safest place to play in America.
Yeah, but I mean,
even anywhere else, he still hit something.
I mean, if we recap that last play, right? Charles Lane diving out of bounds, throws the ball up behind his head. It's picked up by Damani McIntyre. He goes step for step with Nunley, and Nunley does a great job of being the last person to bounce the ball off McIntyre and having it go out of bounds, but he paid the price for it.
Yeah.
Nunley tonight, 6 points, 2 of 2 shooting, 2 of 2 from the free throw line, and 4 rebounds for the man who stands just 5'10". 9-point lead for Bethune-Cookman, 70-61. 6:34 to go. They have led the entire way. There's a three. Back iron, no good. Into the corner it goes. Miles tries to save it. He cannot. Prairie View A&M shot very well from 3 today. 4 of 10. That's 40%. On the season, they shoot 30.8% and are bottom third in the SWAC in that category. Wildcats from 3, not much better, just 31.1%. Also in that bottom third of the league, which is wild when you've got guys like Zion Harmon on your team. Mid-range floater, no good for DJ. Odd man rush for the Panthers. Ward racing back in, but it's just an easy lay-in for Brian Miles. Miles up to 15, lead down to 7, 5:50 to go.
Look for the Wildcats to slow play down. Haven't really gotten anything consistent offensively.
Basically in the entire second half. There's a nice pass, and DJ finishes at the cup.
And it's good to see Nunley back out there.
Yep. Good assist by Zion Harmon, only his second of the game. Zion leads the team in assists this season with 77. And another and one opportunity for Charles Lane and Prairie View A&M. And that's on Reggie Ward, and he is gone. That's his 5th foul.
End of the day for him. And for a minute, he was really the only hot hand offensively for the Wildcats. Ends up in a kind of awkward position. You know, both of your centers aren't playing, so have on the big man who's, you know, one of the leading rebounder in the SWAC. Obviously, he's going to have a hard time doing stuff without fouling somewhat, and ends up fouling out. Had a decent performance tonight.
3-point play converted, 72-64. Jacoby Hetty's kind of been invisible in this second half. Let's see if he can make an impact somewhere. He's got the ball now. He backs up towards the VCU logo. He hands it to Zion. Harmon looking for the screen. Denies the screen. 7 to shoot. He lost the ball. Nunley picks it up and will lay it in unopposed. Coach Diaz not a happy camper. 4-point game. After the Wildcats led by 20 and then 13 in the second half. Zion kicks it out. DJ, long two, front iron, back iron, in.
A nice play by Zion Harmon, getting that easy look for DJ and him making that shot.
Three from the corner, another one. It's Charles Lane again.
And the smallest lead of the night for the Wildcats, only 3.
22 points for Lane. 4 of 7 from deep. DJ pick and roll, spins and wins against Javonte Hopkins, and that's a tough matchup for the 6-foot-even defender. More Jim trying to get behind the Wildcats as they're trying to see off a tough challenge from Prairie View A&M. Lane almost turned it over. Hopkins had to pick up the pieces. They still got 15 to shoot and can reset. Nunley goes left all the way to the basket, hands it off to Miles, and there's a foul called as he missed a dunk. They're gonna call it on Damani McIntyre. Wow. As we've hit the final media timeout. 3:37 to go, and when we come back, Brian Miles is gonna go to the line to make it a 3-point game. Southeast Toyota Dealers is a proud supporter of Bethune-Cookman basketball. Visit your local Toyota dealers or explore Toyota.com today and take advantage of the deals on our full line of vehicles. Nike is the official outfitter of the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. Gear up on the newest BCU Nike gear at Nike.com/Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. And make sure you are representing Bethune-Cookman University Athletics to the fullest. Buy the latest BCU gear online at the Bethune-Cookman online store. Go to BCUathletics.com and click on shop to find the newest BCU clothing and apparel. That's BCUathletics.com and click on shop. Henson, here we go again. It's gonna be more magic tonight, or the Wildcats may slip to another defeat.
I mean, it's been a very close game towards the tail end of the second half. At first, we came in at first half performance. We thought maybe this would be a blowout possibly for the Wildcats, and a good restarter after having a tough road trip. And then you come in and Lane right now is having a season high 22 points, and the Eatonville graduate student has really been the offense for Prairie View, combined with Miles with 15 and Hopkins with 11. That's pretty much all their points. Nunley has a nice little 8, but the players that that get the most minutes often are their, your team's best players, and they're showing up today.
Yeah. 4 in double figures for Bethune-Cookman. Hetty has 19, Harmon has 14, Carter Hollinger has 13, Reggie Ward also has 13, but he has fouled out, and Dyson is sitting there with 9. Damani McIntyre actually leads the team in rebounds. He's got 6. Nobody else has more than 4. It's been rebounding by committee, but the Wildcats at one point were dominating on the glass, but it's now just 31-26. And the difference in offensive rebounds is just 1. It's a 2-shot penalty for Miles. He missed the first one.
3:37 left.
And the Wildcats have kind of been handed a taste of their own medicine. They are behind in points off turnovers tonight, 15-14. Usually that's their game, get a stop, get a quick rebound and go, but Prairie View, after that barrage in the first half, have done a really good job of preventing the Wildcats from running and gunning like they are wont to do. Zion matched up one-on-one. He fakes, he gets inside, he puts it up, it's no good, but there will be 2 penalty shots upcoming.
A reach there gonna get called on Hopkins. That's his second.
And you got to feel like if the Wildcats are going to win this game and survive down the stretch, it's going to be the Zion Harmon show. Because Hetty's completely gone away after putting up 19 points, but most of those in the first half. First one good from Harmon.
And he's shooting a high percentage, 8 for 13. Not like he got, started missing toward in the second half. Just isn't really getting the ball as much. And Zion Harmon's trying to pick up that mantle. Swings it to the corner. And now they look to reset possession. Not only drives, stops on a dime, passes it back out.
Yeah, I was trying to look up how many points Zion Harmon had the second half. I couldn't quite find it. I will get you that in a second. Nice attack of the closeout. Misses the jumper, does Smith, but another offensive putback. And it's the old bones coming back to hurt BCU. Tough, can't get on the glass, giving up second chance points.
And at one point, they were absolutely dominating on the boards, and now it's 31-26. Still in their favor.
Against Miles. Miles forces him back. Dyson with the shorter Nunley switched on to him. 7 to shoot. Dyson lost the ball, but a foul.
Or a kickball violation.
So the Wildcats get bailed out by the kick.
Yeah. Still only a 4-point lead with 2:24 left.
Every possession for the Wildcats needs to end in a high percentage shot here.
Only one timeout for Prairie View. Which is crazy because it doesn't feel like we've used a lot of them.
Harmon, screen and 3, no. McIntyre tried to dive for the rebound. Wildcat ball, last touched by Smith.
But they're probably going to look to review that.
I'm not sure they can. We don't have the extra cameras in here today.
Well, we're just going off of the refs today.
Oh, and DJ Carter Hollinger comes up a little bit hobbly as he goes out to inbound. I hope he's okay. And Bethune-Cookman calls their second to last timeout. BCU baseball is back this Friday, and it's time to pack the jack. Come out and support the Wildcats as they look to build off a SWAC title game run last season. First pitch of the 2024 season is set for Friday, February 16th at 7 p.m. against the Stonehill College Skyhawks. 7 p.m. Tickets are available for as little as $10 at the BCU box office. Henson, 4-point lead. Wildcats will have a fresh shot clock, or not a fresh shot clock, but 20 on the shot clock, inbounding baseline. Everything's got to end in a high percentage shot. What do you want them to draw up here?
I would say, take advantage of what the defense gives you. We have 20 seconds, we're up. Take as much time off this clock as we can. Try to get a good look for Hetty or Harmon or Dyson. Don't force it to Harmon if it's not there. Harmon doesn't have to dribble out the entire 20 seconds,
And remember, this possession was created by Damani McIntyre doing a great job of getting a rebound and getting a second chance opportunity for the Wildcats. He does lead the Wildcats in rebounds today with 6.
Played a lot more than we've usually seen out of him.
Harmon goes left, stop and go, now double teamed. Swings it down low, and a foul is called against Miles as he knocks DJ Carter Hollinger to the ground.
And DJ certainly, he's certainly bothering him as he gets up.
He's fighting through it. He's going to go to the line for 2 because the Wildcats are in the double bonus. Both teams actually in the double bonus for the next 149.
The San Diego native played in Montana. That's a lot of toughness and grit in him. Three for 4 from the line coming into this shot. And he could put this back into a 2-possession, a 2-3 tying situation instead of 2 threes being a lead for Prairie View.
Got the first one in off the front rim. Carter Hollinger is second on the team in field goal percentage with 85.1%, which is something you don't really expect from a forward. And he gets both that time, and he's only missed 1 in the game. 80-74. Wildcats on top with 1:44 left. Lane trapped upstairs. And now Miles back to Lane. Lane goes left, pulls up. That's a long two, missed it short. Rebound by Zion Harmon. Harmon in transition. He goes all the way and kicks it out. And now the Wildcats will play for time. Harmon just throwing the ball around. Hetty fakes the pass, drives, falls down, and the ball is out of bounds. And the Panthers turn it over, and Reggie Theus is asking why was there not a foul against Jacoby Hetty as he went crashing to the ground.
And also probably saying, why was that called out of bounds so quickly?
Well, I mean, it was out of bounds.
Yeah, I'm not saying it wasn't, but didn't even get over it.
Now we have another whistle and a stoppage.
And now I think he's calling a discussion with the refs.
They're not going to get a foul call after the fact, especially with no review opportunities. And I think that's what the ref just told Coach Theus. It's like, we can't review it. What do you want us to do? Still a 6-point game, 1:17 to go. And Prairie View has been pretty hot from three, especially Charles Lane, 4 of 7 from beyond the arc. It's Nunley. He's fouled.
And Harmon tries to play tough defense there, gets a blocking foul.
And now he's got 4. Man trying to fire up this home crowd.
Trying to get people hype on this tail end of this game. Minute 10 remaining.
First is good from Nunley. And honestly, I think this might be okay for the Wildcats. If they can take majority of the next shot clock off the clock, there may only be 3 possessions left in this game. Nunley gets both. 4-point game, 1:10 to go.
Only one timeout for both teams heading into this last minute. A 3 would really put a dagger in.
Wildcats, they turn the ball over. Couldn't do that. McGaskey had to corral it, and it's blocked by Zion. Harmon blocked the ball, and then it's out of bounds to the Wildcats. Zion Harmon, the offensive wizard, with his best contribution of the night being a defensive masterpiece after he turned the ball over.
Zion Harmon is a clean 6-foot flat and made an astounding block there. Thought the band was gonna start tuning up.
45 to go. Wildcats just trying to play keep away. Now the crowd's involved. Pick and roll. Dyson scores!
A 6-point lead, and they lose the ball.
Horton falls down,
Gets
still
it
picks it
back.
up. Spins and goes to the hoop. Can't finish. Putback is good for Javante Hopkins. Still a 4-point game, 25 seconds left, and now it becomes a free throw shooting contest.
An acrobatic finish there on the putback. And now the band plays.
Yeah. Final timeout, Prairie View.
And now the question is, who do the Wildcats want taking these free throws? If you're going by percentages, it's pretty obvious you want Zion Harmon. Perfect from the line this game. And then a close second is DJ right now, 5 for 6. And then Jacoby Hetty's 3 for 4 as well. So no one's shooting poorly outside. Dyson hasn't shot 1 today. So pretty much everybody on the court is probably going to be a decent shout to get this ball.
But it's all about composure at this point, and you cannot turn the ball over. You have to get the ball in effectively.
Yeah, you can't do it. I mean, there were a good opportunity for the Wildcats to close the game out if they just held on to that ball at that last change of possession.
Wildcats have turned the ball over 15 times. Prairie View just 12. The Wildcats came blistering out of the gate. They led 38-18 with 4:50 to go in the first. It's been mostly Prairie View since then, but the Panthers have still never led in the ball game, and they are down 78 82. It'll be Wildcat ball, 27.5 to go. And the Wildcats, with a clean inbound here, should be shooting free throws. Now let's see who the Panthers don't want to foul. Miles has 4. If you can force Brian Miles to foul, he is out of there. They'll try and trap in the backcourt. DJ harassed. Zion got the ball behind the back, into the front court. 17 seconds left, heading to the rack. He scores. Now the Wildcats got to get back. The ball is out of bounds. Into the Wildcats. It last came off the foot of Javante Hopkins as it's madness at center court. And the Wildcats take their final timeout as well.
Now all of a sudden we're looking at a 6-point lead for the Wildcats to close this game out. 12.6 seconds remaining.
How about the composure of Zion Harmon? The ball was deflected out of the hands of Carter Hollinger. Harmon picked it up and raced across half court with it.
Yeah, a lot of clutch performance for Zion Harmon there. Behind the back, that key block to stop that open layup on the other end for Prairie View. And now Prairie View needs a miracle. They need a T-Mac-like performance for the last 12.6 seconds. They need to get the ball. They really can't foul, because they foul and they make both shots. And if they make one shot, all of a sudden it's a 7-point game. You can't really come back from that. So they need to get a turnover off of this inbound. They need to get a quick 3 and then immediately do the same thing or at least something similar to close this game out.
Now, the Wildcats have put up another incredible offensive performance. They're already 3rd best in the SWAC at 74.5 points a game. They're going to better that by 10 plus in all likelihood. Now they got to get it in and hope for a foul. They do get it in. No fouls forthcoming. They'll play keep away with the ball. Prairie View will let it go. Now they actually get the ball out of bounds one more time as Hopkins stepped in front of the pass. 2.9 to go, but the Wildcats look to have barely done enough. They were outscored by 6 in the second half. They survived a barrage at the end of the first half, but the big scoring in the first half was enough, and this one belongs to the maroon and gold, and the Wildcats sweep the doubleheader against Prairie View A&M.
And what's really funny is that the Wildcats never trailed in this game. They were leading the entire time, but it felt like from a good chunk of it that this could go down to the wire. It does, so to speak. 84-78 being the final score. And, you know, a big shout out to Jacoby Hetty for being a main part of why that big lead was established in the first place. Zion Harmon did a good job as well to close it out. Deshaun Dyson with his catch and shoot activities is also, you know, his 11 points are key and huge. DJ did a great job as well, along with Reggie Ward Jr., even though he fouled out early.
Here are your final scoring totals for this evening's contest. First for Prairie View A&M. Lane had 22. As you mentioned, a season high for him. Miles had 18. Hopkins had 13. Nunley 10. Smith had 6. Horton 4. Felix 3. And McGaskey 2. And the big turning point right at the end of the game was McGaskey picking Zion Harmon's pocket and then Harmon racing back down the floor to block the layup. That turned the momentum in the last couple of minutes.
And that was a lucky play for the Wildcats that McGaskey just dribbled it a bit too far in front of him, had to take that gather step before that layup, because otherwise he had a clean shot. And Zion Harmon, I want to measure that 40 time to get back down across the court that fast, getting that block without fouling, and is a main reason why, you know, the maroon and gold here tonight are going to be home happy.
Here's the final line score for Bethune-Cookman. Jacoby Hetty had 21, Zion Harmon had 16. DJ Carter Hollinger had 15. Reggie Ward had 13, but he fouled out. Dyson had 11. That makes 5 Wildcats with double figures. Damani McIntyre had 5, but 6 rebounds to lead the team, and also 3 steals to continue his fantastic season on the defensive end. Henderson had 2. Jose, in just 2 minutes, had just the 1 point. Team stats: rebounds 34-28 BCU. Both teams tied with 13 offensive rebounds. BCU had 19 second chance points. Prairie View A&M had 14. 17 assists to 16 in favor of Prairie View. 15 turnovers for BCU, 13 turnovers for Prairie View. BCU scored 14 points off those turnovers, Prairie View 17. So kind of an uncharacteristic Bethune-Cookman performance in that regard. BCU had 6 blocks, Prairie View had 4 blocks. Not a lot of fast break points tonight. Just 9 fast break points for the Wildcats, 5 for Prairie View A&M, 10 steals for the Panthers, 8 for the Wildcats. Points in the paint, 40 for BCU, 38 for Prairie View. So this was very similar to the women's game, Henson, in terms of like most of the scoring was done by the post players.
Yeah, I got in the paint early, and they stayed in the paint for much of the game. You know, you obviously had a couple threes, but 5 for 17, that's 30% from the, you know, beyond the arc. And a lot of those were Zion Harmon, who was 1 for 8 overall. But, you know, if someone's working well, you're gonna keep doing it, and that's what they ended up doing, and that's part of the reason they ended up winning this game 84-78.
That'll do it for us here from Moore Gymnasium. For our entire crew, student-led CatEye Network crew, producer and CatEye Network director Eugene Robinson, SID's Bryce Wojnowski and Brian Harvey, Henson White at the table with me, Michael Torello, saying so long from Moore Gymnasium. It's a Wildcat doubleheader sweep. Good night, and hail Wildcats.